Alright, so this is a suggestion via Patreon. The name of the video is Woke Student Learns Her Ideology is Troublesome. Let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this immediately. Let's see where this definitely takes us. This is coming from the channel Charlie KIRK, guys.
Economic and social equality. I don't know really what that means, but maybe you could tell me.
Interesting. Yeah, it means that like all people kind of get the same opportunities.
Like Cuba, or like Venezuela,
No, not like Cuba or Venezuela.
or like North Korea,
No, not like.
or like how the Soviet Union did it, right?
No, I'd like you to stop like interrupting me. I think that all those examples of like capitalist systems are ones that aren't.
The Soviet Union was not a capitalist system.
Yes, I know.
not.
And Venezuela is not a socialist system.
Sure it is. They nationalized their oil and gas reserves. They have nationalized healthcare, nationalized schooling. The government owns the means of production. How is it not a socialist country?
I mean, yeah, Venezuela is in fact a socialist country, but not in the, I would say the common usage of it, at least, right? It's more like a dictator running what he is defining as a socialist country and putting that out to the world. Yeah, they definitely socialized basically all of their natural resources, but federalized it actually, guys. But it's a slippery slope, Venezuela, guys.
Because because of the history of U.S. interference, socialism cannot be like enacted as it should be.
It also sort of functions under the guise of socialism. I think a lot of the
Venezuela's still corrupt as fuck.
Yeah, but can you show me any socialist country that works?
Yeah, most.
Like completely socialist? None of them do. Completely socialist. I mean, obviously, the United States of America has a lot of socialist programs, roads, libraries, the U.S. military.
Yeah, but can you show me any socialist country that works?
Yeah, most of Europe.
So
Most
maybe
of Europe
Norway,
is not
Sweden, and
socialist.
Finland.
Yeah.
But they're more economically free than America.
How so?
On the World Economic Freedom Index, they're ranked higher than America.
And so what does that like mean?
So lower taxes, less regulation. So they're not. I wouldn't consider them to be socialist countries.
They're not.
They provide healthcare for all their citizens.
So does Cuba. How does that work?
I'm sure.
because they're like
Norway, Sweden, Finland also has a homogenous population.
Oh, I want to know about this.
yeah,
Why do
so-
you think? Why is that sort of thing
Yeah.
promoted?
Because it's
that
6 to 7
you need
million people.
They need a homogenized society.
You don't need it
But what is? I don't
Yeah,
even know
can
because
you
the
explain
they have
rationale.
low rates of immigration.
Can you explain to me why?
And so
like,
they have less people coming in their country every year that need Medicaid equivalent type social programs.
Can you explain to me why
They have the
having
strictest immigration policies in Europe, in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and they don't pay for a national military. 70 to 80% tax rates for the highest earners, of which I oppose completely. Sweden has full school choice, which I'm sure you support, right?
I don't.
Oh, okay, but Sweden has full school choice.
I mean,
Sweden's
if all,
also ranked higher on
if
the
all
world.
schools are funded equally, then yeah, I would support school choice. But the fact is that schools in like richer areas have better funding and
So-
thus give people
but-
better education, as opposed to poorer areas, and thus poor people who can't afford to like choose that rich school, who can't commute, who can't like afford the tuition, are not going to be able to get that level of education.
So why is it that we've spent more on education in the last 60 years federally, but our test scores have gotten worse? Why do you think that is?
Because testing is not a measure of.
How about graduation rates? I mean, any metric you use, our schools have gotten worse over the last 50
So
years.
funding the
Where have
classes
they
wanna
got
fix that?
like
I'm sorry?
Where have they gotten?
Baltimore, there are 7 schools in inner city Baltimore where they can't find
So it's
one
probably
kid in
systematic
8th grade.
racism.
Oh, so wait, so do you think America's more racist today than it was in the 1960s?
In some levels, yeah.
Really? You think America's more racist today than it was in the 1960s?
I
It's
think.
still more racist than it should be.
I mean, yeah, I want to say like, I think like net racist.
I mean,
Do you want it to be more racist?
Yeah,
'Cause that's what
like-
it seems
No,
like.
it's not. Actually, I think we're significantly less racist, so you can't blame racism
just
for why
because
these
something's
communities are
less
not
doesn't
doing
mean
well.
it's
Really?
not the
Can
No,
you not blame,
significantly.
Guys, that is a big fact. All right, you have to stop relying on your largest organ, guys. Okay, please stop doing that. A lot of it is culture. Look at the culture in the areas that schools are doing terrible. They do not prioritize school. That's the reality. They do not prioritize any type of education. That's an issue, right? So you can fund all the schools equally, but it doesn't matter because if the culture of the people that are basically going there specifically that do not prioritize education, then you're just wasting your money. No.
Racism
just
for why
because
these
something's
communities
less
are not
doesn't
doing
mean
well.
you can
Really? Could you
No,
not blame,
significantly
like, could you
less.
not blame,
What
for
is your
example,
race metric?
Well, let me okay. So in the 1960s, blacks weren't allowed in the National Basketball Association. In the 1960s, the Civil Rights Act hadn't been passed until 1965. The 1960s, blacks were not allowed to go to the same schools as whites. So, like, that's my metric. So we passed the Civil Rights Act in
I think those are
1965.
just kind of anecdotal.
yeah,
Oh, how about this? We had a black president-elect.
It's yeah. His response is slightly anecdotal, but
Passed the Civil Rights Act in
I think those are
1965.
just kind of anecdotal.
yeah.
Oh, how about this? We had a black president elected twice in 2008 and 2012.
Oh man, so since a black president
We
was elected, we fixed
quintupled.
racism,
We
right?
quintupled. No, not we haven't finished.
no. But the point that he's making is solid. But no, obviously, having a black president specifically does not designate that every single aspect of that ism is gone, guys. That's a fact.
Oh man, so since a black president was elected, we fixed racism,
We
right?
quintupled. No, not we haven't finished racism. We're significantly less racist.
Right.
So the talking point of the far left is that the inequities that the black community and minority communities are experiencing is because of systemic racism. In order for that argument to be true, America would have had the same sort of amount of racism over the last 60 years or gotten more racist. Any sort of logical analysis of history would show we're significantly less racist today than they were in the 1960s.
Yeah, you could still-
So then what is it?
Any level of racism is still racism, dude.
I think there's individual racism, but the idea that there's widespread systemic racism does not exist.
Okay, what about, okay, so here's an example. Do you guys want to, okay, so, up until probably the mid-70s, like, neighborhoods could choose not to sell homes to black people. That's why a lot of black people live in, like, certain, like, parts of town, you would say. And those are also generally parts of town that have, like, underfunded schools and stuff like that.
So the Asian community went through the exact same type of discrimination, yet the Asian community is the richest community per race in America.
So are you implying something about the black
No,
community?
you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the Asian community did not have a series of social welfare programs designed at them, such as federal welfare systems, broken public schools. The Asian community were one of the poorest communities in the 1940s. Now they are the richest community per race in America. How did that happen?
So you're saying black people are...
They were taking advantage.
Because-
Black people are poor because of the Democrat Party, who got them addicted to government benefits, stuck them in clustered urban areas, put them in broken schools.
Is that
and
the
started a war
Democratic
on
Party
police.
did all of that?
Yes, show me one urban city where there's a Republican mayor. Show me one. Show me one urban area where there's more Republican congressmen than Democrat congressmen.
Like currently?
Yes, or even the last 50 years. It's Democrats that run the urban cities. Oakland,
Yeah,
Portland,
thank fuck.
Chicago, Philadelphia. But these are the most, so you said thankful, but these are the worst parts of America. The most murderous, the most bankrupt, the most hopeless are all run by Democrats.
Yeah, but there's no way you can like make some sort of causation if there's no sort of control for that.
Yeah.
You can't
Well, sure-
like say it
sure
would
you
be
can.
worse without a Republican.
What do you
No, there's
mean?
no way you can make that sort of
listen,
inference.
I'm glad.
bro, listen, bro. What do you mean? Right? I mean, look at literally every single city. Luckily, I didn't grow up anywhere near one, guys. Right? Yes and no. Right? I grew up in Long Island, New York. Right? But closer, like really far out east, guys. I would not say that I grew up in an area that where everyone looked like me. That was just not how that happened with me growing up. I was definitely an anomaly, I would say, where I was raised at least. But obviously back and forth from Manhattan occasionally, right? But the reality is, guys, look at all the places. For the overwhelming majority of big cities in the United States of America, whoever is running it, they tend to be on the same ticket, right? I mean, that's just what I've noticed. High crime areas equate to a very specific party.
Possible.
So
You just can't make that inference.
Okay,
You just
so
don't
when-
have data for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the
Just
when
stop trying to make
Oh,
shit
so,
up.
okay, can I give you examples?
No.
Make it
No?
up.
Oh, you don't want
How are
facts?
making it up?
They're not facts.
Do facts bother you?
No.
Okay, so
You
when,
are gonna make up
so
fake facts.
Republicans run cities, municipalities, and counties have much lower levels of poverty over 30 years, better run schools, more likely to balance their budget, much more business competitive.
That could be
nine out
not
of 10 of the most business competitive states in America are all run by Republican governors. And
not
Republican, yeah, it is actually.
I mean, that doesn't.
Utah, Nevada, Arizona.
that doesn't necessarily have any sort of relevance to your point.
So why would you
Has a lot
say
of
that the broken inner cities in America all have Democrat mayors, and the best run states all have Republican governors? Why would you say that?
I would say possibly because people see that Democratic mayors and Democratic government officials can fix the broken system.
Have Democrats fixed anything in the last 60 years?
No, because
you're right. Okay.
Because we've had a Republican-controlled Congress.
No, we've had a Democrat-controlled president from 2008 to 2016.
The president does not have ultimate power over the
No, you're right.
United States.
Obama controlled the House and the Senate, passed the health care bill that destroyed 1/6 of our economy, borrowed trillions of dollars, raised taxes, grew government, and then Republicans took back the House of Representatives and
Honestly,
eventually
I
the
don't know
presidency.
why you're so upset when you still have a ton of money, dude.
What do you mean?
I mean, you are.
I'm not upset. You're the one that just swore. I'm actually quite happy and thankful I live in the greatest country ever to exist.
Yeah, excuse me for swearing. I feel like this entire get-up is just you afraid of losing your economic and white male privilege.
Wait, what privilege do I have as a white person?
Sunburn.
No, seriously.
He's just ignorant.
Honestly,
No.
it was nice to meet you.
Can
Can I shake your hand?
yeah, but can you
Can I
explain
shake
to
your hand? It
me?
was nice to meet you. I'd like you to think about the way your actions affect other people, not just the white male people in this country, but everybody in
What
this
does
country.
being a white person have
Think
to do about
about that.
anything?
I actually have a question.
Like, I pretty much fall under the category of who she's attempting to speak for, guys. And again, I understand that I'm an outlier, right? I've heard this all my life, right? I grew up very differently than a lot of other people who specifically look like me, right? Culturally, I am completely different. I've spent more time in Europe than I have in the United States of America by now, guys, right? That's just a reality. I've spent my life, going down a different path. And I've noticed people that are also in my family directly, right, that did not have the same, I guess, how do I say this nicely here? They grew up completely different than I did, right? And I noticed, sitting down having a conversation with individuals, wondering why every single thing in their life has basically gone terribly, right? And it's just like, bro, don't you understand that how you're... everything that you hold dear to yourself is completely worthless. It's completely worthless. Why do you care what these people who are in a terrible situation themselves care, about you? Why do you care? They're not really helping mold you. They're not helping change your perception of reality, right? I've tried to take a couple of my cousins, out of the United States of America with me. There's always been these excuses. And I'm like, listen, bro, I will pay for it. I want you to experience life differently than what you think life is, because that's not life. That's not, whatever you're living is not life, bro. Okay? She's trying to make, and it seems like she's trying to make excuses for the people that are, that like that craziness, right? No, absolutely not acceptable. It's a culture thing, all right? I think it's honestly more so culture and tax bracket thing right now, more so than anything else. I think it's just legitimately your tax bracket and the culture you attempt to embody, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.